us, equip us to leave this place better than we came. We may magnify and glorify your holy and righteous name. Magnificent and great way. These and other blessings granted in the magnificent, mighty, miraculous, marvelous name of Jesus the Christ. Your son and Savior. Amen. Most of you know our scripture comes from that 16th chapter of Matthew, 16th chapter of Matthew, starting at verse 23. Brother Nixon indicated earlier, the Lord has blessed me to be back here for 27 years, and I do thank God for the privilege of serving His people. I want to thank you, all of you who have contributed already, and some of you will contribute later to the celebration. I do not take your contributions lightly. It's a blessing to be a blessing. And when people take the time to bless you, you ought to be thankful. I'm always saying a lot of negative stuff about Ellen Dickens, but I never doubted in my mind that there's some people live in Ellen Dickens that love me. And don't you doubt for a minute that there's some folk who I love. The difference is you love me and some of them don't love me, but I have to love everybody. And you know what, that takes so much pressure off. And so I am grateful for the privilege. This year, last month, made 49 years of preaching. Started preaching in started pastoring rather in January of 77, so that's somewhere around 43, 44 years, and never thought I'd see 70, but the Lord has blessed me, and so it's just good to be here. It's good to be here. But he turned and said unto Peter, Get thee behind me, Satan, thou art an offense unto me, for thou savest not the things that be of God, but those that be of man. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. What is a man profited if he should gain the whole world and lose his own soul? What shall a man give in exchange for his soul? For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. All right. For a few minutes, I want to talk about a soul saved. A soul saved. An ignorance of worth can create a bargain. An ignorance of worth can create a bargain. There are a lot of items that have been purchased at a garage sale, Roman sale, that turned out to be worth over millions of dollars. Paintings by some of the great artists. It was somebody's basement, somebody's back room turned out to be very, very bad. And he sold it for $2, $3, because they did not know the value of what they had. I wrestled with the Lord and trying to decide what to preach about. I was supposed to have a guest preacher, but I didn't want to do that to him. And so I decided I was going to try to preach it myself. I started that JP said word, and I'm going to preach on vacation. So I said, I'm going to go here and try to say something. Lord, what did you say after been preaching 49 years? I can tell you, I don't celebrate anniversaries as much as I take it as a time to look back and see. One, you know you've been blessed just to be here. But what is the Lord trying to tell you? What advancement have we made? But I'm wrestling with the whole concept. I'm drawn to the internet again. I, for some reason, been listening to this guy, James Baldwin. And I was looking at it, they had this conversation. The guy flew to the other side of the world to tape a conversation between James Baldwin and this lady called Nikki Giovanni, great poet. Wasn't that familiar with her works? This was taped back in 1971. I knew God was in it because that's the same year I started preaching. See this fox, she was pretty. She was pretty. And her throat, she was talking. She and James Baldwin. Great minds, great minds. James Baldwin didn't follow him that much. I knew he's supposed to be homosexual. You know, if you're not careful, you'll miss God's blessing because you hold a heart or some stuff in your head. God sometimes uses the weirdest folk to bless you.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got to get rid of our stuff before God give us what He has us to know. So I listened to Baldwin and say I didn't know that much about her. And they were exchanging ideas. Baldwin was over something. He was talking quite a bit about this racial thing. He had a very different perspective during his lifetime. This whole notion of reparations and white folks giving us something. I don't need white folks to give me anything. All you do is get out of my way and let me get it for myself. You're talking about this, say loud, I'm black, I'm proud. He's saying, you know, that time, in the 70s, that was fresh stuff. That's when, see, y'all read about it, I lived it. He said, I don't see what the big deal is because you ought to be proud already. You ought not need somebody to tell you your worth. And so listening to him, and he was saying this idea that a lot of blacks have been messed up because they buy into this notion that they're not worth a whole lot. Remember during the 70s, that's during the time when folks got wearing those processes and clocks and start wearing naturals and start realizing that we got a lot to be proud of. You got bad hair and I got good hair. I found out, you know, you flip the script, it might not be what you think. One of the most shocking definitions I heard is when I was reading about hair. They said white folks had straight hair and black folks had curly hair. But see, that ain't what they taught me. They said white folks had good hair, curly hair. We had kinky hair. But kinky ain't nothing but curly. See, it's all about perspective. So you got to come to grips with, maybe instead of trying to compare me to somebody else, I should just be proud of the way God. If you're not careful, you get off into that mess and start thinking, you know, white brothers are better than black brothers. Dark brothers. I had got a good friend, Lester Gillespie. Every time I see it, he said, man, y'all Negroes are not in right now. Y'all thought I was going to say something I didn't say. Y'all Negroes ain't in no more. It's black is right is here right now. So go ahead and enjoy your day, son. We coming back, we coming back. But it's just another thing we had going between the two of us, because if you're not careful, you start judging folk on that kind of craziness. Listen to these two intellectuals that made up these two great minds. I like this whole idea of words, because, you know, I've never been the kind of person to try to impress people. I really don't give a damn what you think about me, as long as I know who I am. Right. See, some people get all caught up in reputation. Reputation is what other folks say you are. You know, character is who you are. As long as you know who you are, it doesn't matter what folks say about you. You can't be a preacher without folk lying on you. If you're not careful, you get caught up on talk instead of who you are. Somebody called me a sissy. Well, you know, that ain't gonna cause people to get all in an uproar, because I know who I am. Come on here, somebody. You call me boy, I figure that's your problem. You don't know the difference between a boy and a man. You know what I'm saying? And so I like this whole notion of self-worth, having an idea of what self-worth is. Looking to these intellectuals. I'm not intimidated by intellectuals. I think intellectuals is really relative. You know, I don't care how smart you are, you can go in the right environment and you're dumb as a doornail. You know? I'll tell you about this. One of the members of my church, he was not, didn't consider himself that sharp. He had two members, one couldn't read at all. He could do a little bit, but he was good friends with the guy who could read, because he considered both of them as uneducated, unlearned. But they're two of the sweetest guys he ever wanted to meet, two nice guys. And I go out to his farm, he called his farm. His house was a lot of land, he had all kinds of ducks, goats, and all kinds of stuff on it. But I walk on that property and see all those trees. In the wintertime, trees don't have leaves. Now, James, if you expect me to tell you what a tree is, I need to see a leaf. And it ain't about three, Coach. It ain't about three. You know, I can tell you what a fig tree is, and the leaves. I can tell you what a pecan tree is. I thought until I saw what's a walnut tree, and the leaves ain't that much different. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you is that when it's wintertime and the leaves are gone, we talking about evergreen tree. I can't tell you what kind of tree it is. He walked down there, that's an oak, it's a pin oak, and that's a hickory tree. Now I'm in awe. I'm the one that's college educated, I'm the one supposed to be smart. But right now I'm not even in awe, you know. You see, knowledge is not a matter of how much you know, it's a matter of where you are. Because you can get expert in one arena and you become messed up in another. These two brilliant folk were talking. And then Nicky said something that blew me away. They started making fun of preachers, which that was surprising. I've seen Baldwin talk about church folk before. You know? And I don't blame folk for that, but you see, sometimes some church folks need to be talked about. You know? Some preachers need to be talked about. That's another sermon. I can talk that. But anyway, she said, it's like when people say, what is the profit of man if he gains the whole world and lose his soul? See, I don't get that. See, the profit to me is the word. The word. The word. Y'all missed it, y'all. I'm listening to this, and I'm listening to these minds. I'm in awe of these great thinkers. But then they said something. What does it profit a person if they gain the whole world and lose their soul? She said, that's not a big deal for me. That's the word. Never heard that before. I said, as brilliant as her mind is, as pretty as she is, as pretty as she is, she gonna say something dumb like that. And I said, the problem is, she does not know the value of a soul. She's talking about her age, she's talking about somebody. And you know what I'm saying? At that time, 1971, I was 21. She was 28. I figured it's not, get up here and talk about the lady and don't tell me what happened in all the years in between. So Lord fixed, I had a chance to see another speech by her in a symposium when she was in her 70s. And she, in the church, loved the Lord. She said, I love Jesus Christ. And said one of the great problems with our generation, these kids haven't been exposed to church. So she made a complete change in that regard. But back then she said something that really got me stirred up for the day. Ain't gonna keep you long. You heard most of my sermon. I just came to talk with y'all today. We gonna celebrate. She said, the world. My first sermon came from that passage. I didn't have verse 20, I started verse 21. But that's one verse I live by. What does it profit a man? What does it profit a person if they gain the whole world and lose his soul? The world. Well, you missed the profit part. He didn't say if you gain the world, you can gain anything. The world is a lie. But he said, she says, I gained the world, which means she doesn't understand either the meaning of profit, which I knew she did, or she doesn't know the value of a soul. The value of a soul. A soul. But don't fool yourself, she's not by herself. A lot of folk grasp, they can't grasp this whole idea of a soul, how valuable a soul is. They are distracted by the world. You see, in this text, you got two conversations going on. You got two thinkers going on. You got Jesus doing God talk, and you got Peter doing man talk. Yeah. Jesus doing soul talk, and Peter doing world talk. There are a lot of folk who are talking the talk, but they're doing more world talk than God talk. World talk can make a lot of sense. World talk can get you on a level, but you have to understand that world talk can't compete with God talk. There's some things you can't appreciate with world thinking. In order for you to appreciate it, you got to get on a spiritual level. I have a witness here that some folks miss it because they are dealing with secular minds and carnal thinking instead of dealing with this God who is a spiritual God, that they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. They had undervalued the soul and he overvalued the world. Sometimes you don't know how much a soul is, and sometimes you don't know the value of the world, and you might think one is more valuable than it is. And look at what Jesus says. He says, you are overvaluing the world and you're undervaluing yourself. He says, but if you come to me, you got to deny yourself and you got to take up your cross. Here's somebody, and you got to follow me. That you think it's a bargain, it's not such a bargain. You got to make the right choice. That souls are on sale all the time. The question is, do you know how much you're worth? If I really knew. If I really knew the value of the soul, I would spend more time trying to help folks not lose theirs. If I really knew the value of the soul, I wouldn't do anything that was going to encourage somebody to lose theirs. If I really knew the value of the soul, I would put a stumbling block in somebody else's way from seeing the Lord. If I really knew the value of the soul, I wouldn't worry about my position more than saving a soul. The best buy. Well, not only do I see the best buy, but I see the best bread. The best bread. And basically, Jesus said, you're dealing with what I call bitter bread. See, when you read this passage and you see Jesus talking, you'll notice that there's a parallel between what Jesus is saying here in chapter 16 and what he told Satan when he came out of the wilderness, after he'd been fasting 40 days and 40 nights. Do I have a witness here? You see, Peter says, Lord, you're not talking straight. I got a problem with that. Lord, don't talk like that. You got to go through all that kind of stuff. Lord, you don't have to go that kind of punishment. It seems like Peter is looking at world logic. Jesus is looking at kingdom logic. Peter is looking at avoid suffering, and Jesus is saying, you must suffer. Yes. Look. If he'd been listening, he could have got it. It's right there in the text. He said, then charged he his disciples that they should tell no man that he was Jesus Christ. Then you go down there, it says, he says, how that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer many times, many things of the elders and the chief priests and scribes. He would be killed. He'd be raised again the third day. Peter said, Lord, and he rebuked him, be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee. Back up. He messed up. Look at verse 20. He says, Jesus said that I must go unto Jerusalem. That means I must suffer. I must suffer many things. I must suffer many things from the elders, from the chief priests, and from the scribes. I must be killed. Lord, you don't have to do all this. And he said, no, I must. Now understand, he tells them what he must do before Peter opens his mouth. But he opens his mouth the wrong way. And then he says, get behind me. Come on here, somebody. Y'all listen. The Bible said he was in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. And as soon as he come out of the wilderness, the first thing out of the devil's mouth is, command these stones, come on here somebody, be made bread. Come on, Jesus didn't say I can't turn stones into bread. He simply says man must not live by bread. Come on here somebody. In other words, Jesus is saying, yeah, you think the solution to your problem is bread, when the devil is always trying to give you bread. He's always trying to get you to make bread. He's always trying to get you to use your energy for bread making. And he said, but that's not what it's all about. Man does not live by bread alone, but man lives by the word of God. Do I have a witness here? That you got to understand that just like he must suffer, we must suffer. Just like he had to be persecuted, we've got to be persecuted. Look, he said, I tell you what, I want, if you bow down to me and I give you everything you see out there, you can have the whole world. He said, you don't bow down to you. God says the only one you worship is him. Do I have a witness here? Y'all listen. He said, you know what? He said, I tell you, why don't you just jump down off this cliff and before you hit the bottom, the Lord will catch you. He sent angels to catch you. He said, you don't tempt God that way. You don't play with God that way. God ain't that kind of God. You don't go through life trying to test God, trying to put God on trial, trying to get God to prove to you. God don't have to prove himself to you. If you, God, you need to do this. If you really, God, give you a new car, and if you really, God, give you a new house, God doesn't have to give you a house to prove he's God. He was God when you woke up this morning. When you go to sleep tonight, he'll still be God. He's God before you were born, he'll be God before you dead. He's God all by himself, and he doesn't need anybody else. He's God. And so I can understand, Peter, Jesus. Even Peter think he's talking for Jesus. I'm your support system. I got your back. You don't have to worry about no priest. You don't have to worry about no scribe. Anybody that's with you, that's with me. And instead of Jesus turning around and saying, thank you, bro, Jesus turned and said, get behind me, devil. Get behind me, Satan. I wish I had a witness here. You're trying to get me to depend on you, but I depend on my Father. You're trying to get me thinking I can lean on you. I need to lean on the Lord. You're trying to get me to look at the comforts of the world, and I'm listening to a different drum beat. I must suffer. I must go through some trials, and I've got to go through some hardship, because it's through that suffering that God gets me to where He wants me to be. It's not all about me, but He's blessing me so I can be a blessing to somebody else. You're too worried about what's happening to you, and that's what God is using you, and that's how God is using you to be a blessing to somebody else. I got to understand that man doesn't live by bread alone. That man needs more than bread. Man needs to understand he needs a power greater than his own. These two intellectuals were talking, and they start making fun of the church and start saying it's the world. Start saying some crazy stuff, and I'm listening, I'm saying, oh my Lord, isn't it amazing how you can be so intelligent and so unlearned at the same time? Isn't it amazing how you can know so much and know so little at the same time? And then Baldwin said, it's the craziness about a man born of a virgin. What kind of mess is that? Why God had to make her pregnant? Why couldn't she just get pregnant by another man? I wish I had a witness here. Know so much and yet know so little. See, a lot of that stuff don't make no sense. And I start thinking about all the things in the Bible that doesn't make sense. I wish I had a witness here. It don't make no sense. God's going to make a virgin to be conceiving a child, and she never knew a man. You know, that's a stumbling block for a lot of folks. That same girl told me I was talking to on campus. She said, I believe everything about it. It's got a problem with one thing. I said, what's that? I don't believe in the virgin birth. I said, well, you might as well throw the Bible away. That's the main thing. You know, some folks got a problem with crossing the Red Sea. I wish I had a witness here. One writer said that's just overdone. I don't believe in miracles. They didn't really cross the Red Sea was all that deep. That really the part of the Red Sea that was real shallow. And they crossed over and barely got their feet wet. He said, praise the Lord, that's a miracle. He said, ain't no miracle. Anybody can walk up and say, it's a miracle. God drowned Pharaoh's army in a few inches of water that you got to get to a point. Either you believe God or you don't believe God. Either you trust God or you don't trust God. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. A whole lot of things about God don't make sense. A whole lot of things about God that doesn't add up. But you know what I found out? If you dare to walk with Him, if you dare to trust Him, He'll open up your eyes. He'll enable you to see something you wouldn't have seen otherwise. See there watching those two intellectuals and Clinton, how they were sitting there, looked like Baldwin smoked like a pack of cigarettes. It was less than an hour and a half, and they said that he lightened up and she lightened up, and he smoking. And I said, well, I see what killed him. He probably died of lung cancer. And she's young and pretty, 28. That was 1971. I said, wait a minute, in 71 I was 21. And she was 28 now. It's possible she's still alive. I doubt it, but all those cigarettes she was smoking. She does have a few years on it. Possible she would be alive. So I go and Google her, and sure enough, I get a late picture of her. She's speaking at that symposium I was telling you about. We're doing a talk. She says, I'm an adventurer. I'd like to go places I've never gone. If they ever offer rides to Mars, I'd like to go. She said, but I can't go because I was a smoker. I had cancer. And cancer ate up my lungs. They had to take one of my lungs out. He said, the trip to Mars wouldn't bother me, but they say when I come back, when the ship enters the Earth atmosphere, it would shake up my body so much that vacant place in my chest, all my organs would get pushed around, and that experience would probably kill me. So I lost my lungs, but I'm glad I'm here. I could have been dead. It could have killed me, but I'm still here to talk about. I wish I had a witness. On one term, she was ready to take the world, but now she's got a new attitude. Yeah. I don't have a lung, but I got a testimony. I learned some things along the way that when you walk with God, you know that God is able to carry you through. I'm through. Jesus said, now you don't need bread. He told that woman at the well, I have some living bread. I got some bread that you know not of. I got some bread that when you take a bite, you don't have to worry about being hungry again. I wish I had a good. I'm telling you, don't eat the world's bread, eat the Lord's bread. If you can have some Jesus bread, it can make a difference in your life. I'm going to close by talking about the best benefactor. That you know, I found out it's not what you say, it's how much integrity you have before I can believe what you say. Y'all got a man living in the White House. I don't believe what he says more than I believe that dope talking to me. He lied more than the rug, and so I have questions. You know, even when he tells the truth, I put a question mark by it. Because you can't trust what he says. But when Jesus talks to you, you can depend on the Lord. When Jesus talks to you, you can depend on what he's telling you. When Jesus talks to you, you can believe what he says is will come to pass. Do I have a witness here? What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and lose his soul? For the Son of Man shall come in his glory, his Father and his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. He's going to reward. He said, if you keep on going through the suffering, you will have a reward. You see, he talked about a whole lot of things in that suffering. I must suffer punishment. I must suffer death. I must suffer a lot of hardship. But he said, but then I also will be raised up. Yeah. You see, in the midst of suffering, there is a miracle. In the midst of the suffering, there is a reward. That word reward comes from a Greek word, apoeoma. It's like not just a reward; it's a deliverance. It's receiving that which you expect to receive. Jesus says, "I will reward you." You can believe what Jesus promises. Not everybody can receive the reward. Only those who are willing to choose God over the world. I must be raised. That's why some folk got a problem with resurrection. They got a problem believing you can bring the dead back to life. But some of you knew that when you were dead in trespasses and sin, the Lord raised you up. Yeah. But when you know he'll raise you up, he gave you life. I've come that they might have life and have it more abundant. Isn't it amazing how your life seemed like it was all over, it was dull and drum, humdrum, and you were just going through the motion, and then the Lord touched your soul and he just gave you life everlasting. He gave you a new way of walking, a new way of talking. Some people got to leave town in order to feel good. Isn't it amazing how the Lord can make you feel good? Yes, just by sitting where you are. You don't need a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot. You don't need a whole But the Lord can take what you have and make something great out of it. God can make you have a new experience just drinking a glass of water when somebody got to drink a fifth of whiskey. God can give you a new attitude while you're walking down the street when somebody has to go on the other side of the world. He knows how to raise you up into a new experience and into a new life. I'm through, but let me tell you something. When Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, he did something with Lazarus he had not done with anybody else. Yeah, you know, when preacher, Jesus raised a lot of folks from the dead, but Jesus raised Lazarus like he raised nobody else. When he was walking out of town and he gave the widow back her son. Homeboy just died that day, and so he raised him up after his dead, not even one day. The girl, when he was going to that boy's house and his daughter was dead, he said, "Don't bother, let him go. By his way, she could die." He said, "Don't worry about it, we're going anyway." He raised her up that same day. But Lazarus, the Bible said, he raised him up after 4 days. He didn't even do that with himself. The Bible said he went in the grave and stayed there Friday night, all day Saturday, but he raised himself up on the third day. Well, God raised him up, but he and God are the same. And so he took 3 days to raise him up, but the Bible said he raised up Lazarus after 4 days. Well, what's the big deal, Haynes? Well, you see, 4 days, that's the time they say it takes before stuff starts happening to your body. There are certain parts of your body start deteriorating, and the little bugs that eat start eating on you, and stuff start happening inside you. Martha wasn't all that sophisticated about it. She just said, "He's stinking by now." In other words, that's about the time you started speaking. And Jesus said, "But you got to understand something. When I say roll away the stone, I'm not just anybody. When I say roll away the stone, I'm somebody who knows what to do when the stone has been rolled away. I'm not just somebody making a request. I can make a difference. I don't need to go through life with the ordinary. I can do the extraordinary. Roll the stone away. He's been dead 4 days, but I'm going to call him out of his grave." Nowhere in the Bible you say that they say Lazarus was speaking. I continue, he may have started speaking before Jesus said, "Roll the stone away," but Jesus performed I wish I had a witness here. He performed a process between the time the stone was rolled away and the time he called Lazarus' name. Some things took place inside of his body. He raised him up, but before he raised him up, he said, "I'm not just going to raise him up, I'm going to do it the hard way." I'm trying to tell him, he doesn't have to do it their way or one way. He can do it the hard way. He can do it any way he chooses, because God is that kind of God. Do I have a witness here? Is there anybody here that knows he's a miracle worker? Well, I just tell you this, life is more exciting when you learn how to live the miraculous life. Life is more when they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom, wherever Jesus died and went back to his Father, but they didn't see him when he came back. I wish I had a witness here for the final coming, for we still waiting on Jesus' return, but he didn't say they'd be alive until the final return. He said they'd be alive when I return in the kingdom. In other words, the same voice that he was talking to right then when Jesus died and went on back to his Father, the Bible said he came on back. Somebody know what I'm talking about. He came on back. He told Mary Magdalene, don't touch me. I hadn't been yet to my Father. He returned to his Father, tell him to meet me in the appointed place. But he comes back and he walks through the door. Yes, he's not the same Jesus. He's the same Jesus, but he's not the same Jesus. He's the same Jesus, but he comes in his power. He comes in his kingdom. He's the same Jesus. He's not living by the world's standards. He's living kingdom rules. The world locked the door. The King of Kings walked through the door. The world says it ain't no good. We fished all night long and we caught nothing. But the King says take your net and throw it on the other side. The world said you can't do it. Jesus said yes you can. He goes for 40 days and he gives them some kingdom lessons. Stop thinking like the world and start thinking like the kingdom and go into the whole world and tell everywhere the King of Kings, he is on his throne. The King of Kings, he's marching on. I don't serve a dead Jesus, but I serve a living Savior. He's in the world today. I know that he is living. Whatever men may say, I see his hand of mercy. I hear his voice of cheer. And just the time I need it, he's always near. He lives. He lives. He lives. I know who lives today. He lives. The reason I know he lives because he's in the soul. He walks with you. He walks with you. He tells you. No waste time. But you know what? I was sitting there with Brother Nixon asking me to sing a little bit. Now I might sing it before I get beat, but I got to thinking, you know what? If the truth be told, cause sometimes I do get tired. Sometimes I get tired in my body. Sometimes I get tired in my soul. I get tired of being lied on. I get tired of talking about you. I get tired of mistreating you. Wait a minute. That world talk. That's man talk. He ain't talking about man talk. He talking about kingdom talk. Talking about another song. with nobody but the Lord. Do I have a witness here? You not know what I'm talking about here. You not know how good he is in your life. I don't feel no waste time. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. No wait time. I've come too far from where I started. Nobody told me the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. I don't fear no waste time. I've come too far where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. Don't believe he brought me this far to leave. I don't feel no waste time. Come too far where I started from. Nobody told me. They didn't tell me it was gonna be easy. Don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. If Jesus goes with me, I'll go anywhere. It's heaven to me, wherever I'm. Jesus is there. You're going to that to me. I count it a privilege. His cross to bear. If